Okay, here we are. Welcome, welcome everyone. Here we are live recording our mastermind, weekly mastermind that we do every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time to, I will say, discover deeper, nurture, embody, and learn how to really enjoy the prosperity consciousness that we are made of. And today is Saturday, October 22nd of 2016. And we are studying the book that is called The Abundance Book. Familiar, we were all summer with this book, excuse me, and it's all about the releasing technique. And what we would like to do today is to go through the ideas that this book gave us and to start to complete. It's incredibly practical. I hope all of you have the book because there is some more chapters. We stopped last week on chapter 22. Today we needed to start on chapter 23, but we realized, Arne and I, that is a little... Oops, what happened?
Candice.
Oh, okay. Can you mute her maybe?
Yeah.
Yes, beautiful. So welcome everyone. Welcome Candice too. But I'm just introducing that we are going to go through this book today, the Abundance Book, with the energy, the intention to complete it, to close this book. So next Saturday we can start with a new book that we will announce on the way today. But let's acknowledge the Abundance Book by Lawrence Crane, really offering us the amazing technique. And, you know, the entire book is super practical. So you can go through a lot of little, you know, issues that you have in life at the end of the book. And I would love, Arne and I, we were saying yesterday, you know, like this is a very personal do right now. At the end is asking, you know, about relationship with your father, with your mother. We went through relationship with guilt, you know, with insecurities, with attachments, detachments. I mean, it's really about developing the ability, and for sure I'm grateful about that because I am much more aware than when I started the book, but developing the ability to sense, to notice what really is going on in your energetic field. And anything that happens in your life, I think, I hope that right now we are all more aware of, you know, stop, open the window, that I will explain right now what it is, and release, let go, and let go. One of the basic points I will say from this book is to the deep understanding, you know, that we already are who we truly are, and our job is not to fabricate that, is to allow it, you know, is to let go of all what we are not. That is really about our minds, how that works, you know, attachment, rejection, judgment. So we are dealing in the realm, you know, of separation, and then of course suffering, and then we keep running the show of pain, you know, and suffering. And I think with Lawrence Crane, we have the opportunity to find a playful way, I will say very practical way, to release and release and release everything, every thought, every judgment, every, I don't know, like sometimes, you know, you want to express something or whatever doesn't flow. How do you feel? Let it go. So let's go through the first. I wanted to open up today to start to complete this with the first big concept that for me was I kind of like, really? And it was the deep understanding about distinguishing when we want something, do want something energetically, that is what we are, energetical beings, okay, start to vibrate or is showing to the universe that you don't have it. And it's very tricky, you know, like, because we want things. So I learned personally, and I would like your sharings here, you know, to see if we can integrate this. But for me, I understand now more and more, thanks to Lawrence Crane, thanks a lot to Abraham Hicks, that we are going to continue studying him later. But that I can engage with my desires from a place of scarcity and not having it, and separation, I will call it, you know, like source is somewhere else. Or I can engage with my desires, my wants, let's say, of knowing, capital letters, that I am one with everything, that whatever it is that I desire, If not, I will not be desiring it. It's part of myself, capital letters. So for me, it was very beautiful to distinguish if I want money, like in this time together is for entrepreneurs, you know, and people that has a mind of, you know, opening to more and allowing more and manifesting, you know, physical lifestyle of your choice, let's say. But you can want that, you know, from ego mind, comparison, being better than others, or not having it, or needing it, or whatever. Or you can want that from a place of total allowance, you know, it's because that's innocently what you vibrate towards to, and means that that's your path. Huge support for me to integrate intellectually, let's say, because I could feel things, but sometimes these kind of books help me to integrate it mentally, you know, to educate my mind, to relax my mind in this direction, you know. My mind understands what's going on. So I think that is the first thing that we could feel grateful for, the distinction between wanting, how wanting really reflects that, you know, you have to go inside and you have to open the window and let go things that are in between for you to really allow that desire that you have. You want to say something?
Yeah, I can see in your mic.
Yes,
You can
okay.
hear me, right?
Can you hear Arne? Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Beautiful.
Well, it also is uh, very helpful to go away from struggle, because when we are the creators, you know, I am making this happen. I want this. I need this. Then I'm not surrendering to my life force of everything, but I become my own source, and that's a lot of work, really temporary. So when I adopt the understanding that is my understanding, and Lawrence Crane, that you have to accept everything, and see that right now it's the perfection of everything, and get into that feeling with peace and harmony and ease. Hey, I enjoy sailing today, so I want to be sailing today, but I'm not doing it because I have to, I need to. I do it because it's just a spontaneous thought that just arose in my mind, and it's easy. And I just savor it. I savor it for as long as it's there. I don't go after it and hunt it down and struggle. So this attitude opens up to ease and freedom, in my
Mhm.
opinion.
Yes, and I will say that, of course, the freer you are, the more conscious you are, the more conscious you are that you are pure awareness, that you are pure source, that you are, I call it presence, loving presence. I call it because the way I feel it, but you know, presence, love, God, source, doesn't matter. The more you know you are that and you are made of that, the easier it is to let go all the rest, and the easier is to flow with, you know, the qualities of our true nature, our true being. And that is the job. I think that's the work, you know, about releasing. So let's understand one thing that I also got very clear from this work that we have done together for many months now, you know, and is that who we are not, all the fears, separations, whatever, who we are not, our ego, fearful entity here, you know, separated from source, that something is outside there, whatever, for sure is an illusion, even though for us, you know, can be experienced very real. But the beauty of this book, or what I got with this book, is like all these energies that we are not, for us to keep it. So the beauty of is like to understand deeply that all these energies wants to go back home. All this energy, if we let go the hook that we have on them, you know, the attachment that we have on them, naturally they want to go back home to source, to God, to presence, to nothing, to all, to who we truly are.
Dissolve.
Exactly, to dissolve. So the deep understanding of, you know, if you are going through something hard in your life, there is something that you are holding on. There is something that you are attached to as an idea, as a wound. So it's beautiful to realize, okay, my job is to check in and see what it is that I am, holding on, and then learn how to open the window that I will explain right now. That's symbolism, if you want, but because this energy wants to go back home. It's like energy, we know, is constantly changing, and the thing is that as soon as you release it, it's going to change. If you don't nurture it in the limitation that was created in the beginning, is going to go back ready to be energy for something, whatever it is that you choose to create. Okay, so I think to understand, that is easy, our power here is not like the Course in Miracles. So you don't have to create love. Your job is to let go the layers that cover love up. And it's same understanding that I'm getting from this book too. Okay, so our job is really about letting go, and letting go. Another thing that I want to go through, besides we are one with all, to make sure that you understand that you engage with your millionaire mind or world, or whatever it is that you want to manifest from a place of being it, knowing that you are that already, is very different than to have to make it, like you were saying before. But I would like to go also through the beautiful scheme. The beauty is that this book offers us, that Lawrence Crane offers us, with the release technique, and it's all about getting familiar. Many of us, I think, we don't know what we feel, or we don't know what really is going on. And I love this page that you can see here. In your book, I don't remember even the number right now, but you have it,
32.
and I think you have it under Unlimited Network /Mastermind, so you can download. And I recommend everyone, because you start to get very familiar with the different experiences that you can have, the different feelings, that you can experience. So as soon as you notice one or the other, you can categorize them and detect. And here's what I would like for all of us to really be compassionate about our human journey, okay? From this understanding of the release technique and Lawrence Crane, we need to understand that, from losing the consciousness of being who we truly are, come into this. But the idea is that to understand that that ego mind, that ego fearful self that needs our love and compassion, I believe, you know, really is looking for three powerful things. And I want you to remember that, okay? It's like anything that is going on in you, as a contraction, as a discomfort, contraction, let's call it, can be wanting to be safe, secure, is what I call the survival consciousness, is very fearful, okay? And it's okay. That's our job, to release all of that, so you can detect that maybe this experience that you're going through is wanting to feel safe or secure, wanted to be approved, wanting approval is another huge you can detect as a human being, as a ego self, that is what it needs. I need approval, like I need the approval. I went to that the first month of this book. Everything, I was amazed, like, oh my gosh, it's like I want approval constantly, So to open the window and to let that go, okay, more free, more less needy, less wanting, less manipulative, in the survival consciousness that I call. And then wanting control. Three sources: wanting security, wanting approval, wanting control, wanting also, there is another wanting that I experienced during this journey, that was wanting separation. And it's funny how I could make peace with that, because I could see that every judgment that I have was really wanting separation. It's like, it's funny, the how we can sense these energies, okay? But I don't know if you experience that or not, but for sure the way that Lawrence Crane explained is to make sure that we understand the wanting security, wanting approval, or wanting control. And it's easier when you are angry or something like that. Now you up, you sense this. Is this wanting approval, wanting control, or wanting security? Stay a little bit with that energy. Okay, so, and that energy is going, yes, you want to say something?
Well, that my personal experience is that these words, all the different emotions and the wanting security, approval, and control, they came like second step for me, because the first step was feeling. I could feel in my clench when I hold on, when my whole energy has backed off, held in a little bit. I can feel that. I don't have a word for it except clenching or something. I get a topic, and I go, oh, okay, okay, so a little clenching like that, and then when that happens, it was a big topic for me. I've noticed myself when I'm looking back in my life, I always go, oh, and then I bow my head down and I sit there and I feel it. And then after a while, the holding on or the energy left. And I never knew why or anything like that. I realized in this book that's exactly what you do the release technique. You bow your head and bend your neck and you let it go. And I didn't even know it that I did that, but I recognize that I've done that a lot in my life when I need to let go. But it's an automatic. It's a natural process in my experience.
And the deep understanding, I think, practical one, that you don't let go because you don't like it. It's like you don't intervene with your mind. It's nothing to do with your mind. Love and Lawrence, guide us to put the head down, disconnect the mind, okay? Because you don't relate with what's going on in your physical body, energetical body, let's say, from the mind, judgmental or no. You offer the space, and here the window appears. Lawrence Crane was giving us the image that I think is helpful, to have an image of when you take oil, when you find oil, petroleum on the earth, and then suddenly you find that place and then the oil comes out, like, like you cannot stop it. That's the image that Lawrence Crane gave us to understand how much these energies wants to come out, being holding on and, and capitalize on that form, right? So to me, yes, I like it. The tube kit, just I think really reflects the understanding of this energy. It wants it to come out in pressure, it's like they are looking for going back home in the release. So, but for me, I don't know. I came with this beautiful window that when as soon as I feel something, I put my head down and I open the space. For me, the window, I open this window, like beautiful. There is a blue sky that for me reflects source or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't even put the name, but it's very fresh and very open and, and a lot of light. And then through that window is like whatever it is that I'm comes out. So release is not to push away and is not to like it or not like it. It has nothing to do with you like it or not like it. It has to do with you noticing that is constrictive or expansive. And even this book is supporting us to don't even attach ourselves with the expansiveness of our experiences. Like sometimes, the ideal thing here, and it's interesting to see, like you can go from apathy towards dense, energy, apathy and grief, that it is in this chart can help you, and I will love you if you can use it, but will help you to understand that grief and all the emotions that can come from these names, labels, let's say, are really wanting approval and at the core survival consciousness, like wanting security. Then we go through fear and lust, that is more wanting control, that didn't have any idea, and it's amazing, it's so true, so check it for yourself. It's very powerful. And that fear and lust are really more directed into wanting control, and of course ending up into wanting security and touching some fear, but that fear wants to go back home, so it's nice to open the window for it, okay? And then we keep going up the scale here, and we are going to touch anger and pride, that we spend, like a full Saturday with the pride. That was very powerful for me to understand that word and to really, notice that, yeah, that's something that I can experience and I was absolutely not aware. So, and then, courageousness, acceptance, and peace, that will be the end of this scale, like right here. And all of that is wanting control. So this is something that I understood with, a deeper level of understanding, like not even attachment to what feels good to you. You don't have to hold on anything, because that well-being is your true nature. So you don't have to grasp it. You can just be it. Okay. Something that I do want to highlight is not about releasing, has nothing to do with not liking or liking it, or good or bad, or right or wrong. Okay. Has to do with you sensing, and that's what you develop a lot here, presence. You sensing how your energetic body is functioning at the moment, and if it's constrictive, just put the head down, open the window, inquire, is this, what it is that I'm really feeling? Is this wanting security, wanting control, wanting approval? And you spend some time you open the space around, you don't grasp, you don't judge, and that energy, it has to go back home, will go, because you are open. Okay, so that's my deep understanding about the release technique. And
maybe we can ask what they can.
yes, exactly. And I would love if you can open the microphone now and, I don't know, reinforce what I'm saying, if you agree with it, or tell me your experiences, because it really is a matter of integrating this so we can practice it very easy, and to jump to the next book, so we can complete with this energy to jump to the next book that we are the following Saturday. Anybody would like to share something here? In gratitude for Lawrence, for the release technique. Yes, Candace, go for it. Can you
Well, personally, I don't
mute?
ever want to complete with it until it's complete in me. That's one thing. But I can do that on my own. What a great book this has been. It's it's been enlightening in ways that I didn't expect. And, I'm just going to continue to do it. I'm going to leave it with that for the moment. I can't hear you. Hi.
Your microphone is off.
We hear you. We hear you. Now we hear all of you.
Okay. Monica has made a very nice summary of the book and how we experienced it in past weeks. Thank you so much, Monica. And thank you very much to everyone for making it possible to experience all together. I joined to some sessions online, some sessions I just followed afterwards on my own. I tried to experience them. Both of them were different actually. In group experience is totally different, and on my own it's also very different. So I think everybody must really sit and try them themselves, and also find a group of people that they can practice all together. Both of them are differently powerful. And what I like about this book and what we practice is we most of the time search the problem outside of the world, that we blame each other or blame ourselves about how the things are bad or not in the way that we wish, or feeling guilty, feeling, I don't know, all extreme positive or extreme negative feelings which are causing challenges in our lives. And we find the sources outside of ourselves, looking for sources, blaming other people for creating those situations. But with these practices, each time putting our head down and checking the feelings inside, it's very good exercise to see that actually we are the source of all those things going on around, and actually we are creating those things in our minds with the way we look at things, and really like exercise, muscle training. Those are trainings offered in the book to exercise how we are thinking and how it makes us feel. And knowing that makes us shift in the way that we act later. I can see it differently, I can think differently, and I can really choose how I want to feel. Feeling the freedom, really very releasing. So that's also book title, Release Technique, right? Okay, thank you very much all. I'm looking forward for the next book.
Monica, if you're talking, I can't hear you. Can you guys hear me?
You talk, Dr. Brand.
I think Arnie and Monica are actually talking, but anyway, you know, that was an absolutely powerful summary of the power of this book. And I think the power of the book, as we're feeling it and experiencing it over the last few weeks, is largely because, as Beryl stated, the dynamic that we experienced as a group experience in this book. And there are so many powerful chapters and so many powerful pages within it. And I feel very gratified that we actually grasped and gained the power of this book through the study of it and the application of it. It really was amazing. I mean, the realization, and I've intellectually been aware on many levels from right through college, etc., that we are energy in an energetic universe. And Beryl has mastered a great deal of the energy aspects of things, getting her PhD in engineering and aeronautical space. I mean, you know, that is a mastery of energy and energy movement, and it's just mind-boggling when we really do start to incorporate the integration and the beautiful separation of our energy fields, both as an immortal spiritual energy being, tempered by and limited by our human physical energy fields. And I had an experience. It's interesting now in retrospect, as I was reflecting on this. I was sitting in the cockpit of joy at the dock last night, and it was an absolutely ideal day. It was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun was setting. It was 85 degrees, which is a very comfortable temperature. There was a beautiful 11-mile-an-hour breeze blowing up the creek behind me on a super high tide, and the tide was flowing out. So I'm sitting in my boat enjoying a libation. I've been reading my Kindle and a novel, not anything particularly thought-provoking. And I became aware of the gentle movement of the boat, and I looked up and I watched, and we literally had these little rolling waves coming up the waterway because the tide was running out and the wind was blowing against it. And I became aware of how peaceful that whole situation was. And I suddenly had kind of an epiphany about the fact that how nice it was for me to be sitting there as a physical energy source with the perceptive abilities to allow myself to recognize this phenomenon that was going all around me, where I really noticed nothing but the flow of energies. The sunlight energy beaming down on me, the breeze wind energy blowing against me, the energy interplay with the energy of the water flowing against it, raising and lowering the mass of this boat that I was sitting on. And the totality of it was an amazing sensation of peace and contentment in the world. One of the things that I've gotten out of this book is the ability to recognize the emotions that I'm feeling at the time, and the simultaneous ability to simply accept them. And, you know, it seems to me that it's easy for us to get caught up in judgments about the emotions that we're feeling, especially as we look at I'm glad you held up 42 and 43 again, Monica, because those, if we take nothing else from that book, having an awareness of that book and having the physical ability to refer to it at will is one of the absolute blessings of this book. But the point is that it's easy for us to make judgments about the emotions. We talk about the lower emotions versus the higher emotions. And the reality is that there is no rightness or wrongness in emotion. They're simply feelings. And when you're feeling an appropriate emotion for a situation, just because you feel sad over the passing of a loved one or an untoward event or an accident or whatever, at that time and space, that is an appropriate emotion. The time when we have to be concerned about it is if we project our mind back into the past at an event and suddenly feel that negative emotion in present time, then that is a miss emotion. And the miss emotions are what we learn to release through this book, in my observation. And the ability to recognize that and actually have a very simple modality to accomplish it. Now, we're going to study Abraham Hicks, or Esther Hicks and Abraham, going forward in the next book. And I love studying Hicks. I'm so looking forward to doing a group understanding of the power in the Hicks books. But we do know from that the concept of beingness, doingness, and havingness. And the hierarchy is exactly that sequence: being, doing, having. And it's a trick. All of us have mastered the idea of havingness, and we all want more havingness. And it seems to me that in the process of mastering wanting havingness, we have somehow obscured or pushed into the background or forgotten the value of beingness and doingness. When we do encounter that awareness, then we have a quandary about, well, what beingness do I want to be? Do I want to be more spiritual and less physical? Do I want to be more physical and less spiritual? do I want to try and be a blend of those two, which is the higher level of consciousness? And then that leads us to the quandary of doing this. And why are these quandaries? Well, it's because we live in an infinite universe. We live in an infinite energy field. We live in an infinitely expanding universe and energy field because we are that creation of energy and universe. And as a result of that, we have an infinite amount of doingnesses or actions to select from. Is it any wonder that we feel confused, that we feel anger, that we feel any of the emotions? I think the true wonder is, isn't it amazing that we as a race, as a species, continue to make progress in our lives and in the applications of our beingness, doingness, and havingness to this planet and to this time-space continuum. And so that causes me to reflect back on the observation that how many of us know people that on a book knowledge, intellectual level of observation and judgment are dumb as a brick, uneducated as a stone, and yet they're very successful in life from the observation of physical accumulation. Many of them are very, how many of us are aware of the stories of people who never graduated from 8th grade, never finished a formal education, and yet are multimillionaires and billionaires today? How the hell did that happen? I mean, here we are as intelligent, highly educated, doctoral, postdoctoral trainees, and we're struggling with trying to master the doingnesses that will allow us to achieve the, quote, havingnesses that we aspire to. Well, you know what? Sometimes ignorance is bliss. And it's certainly one of the things that I've observed in going through this book is that very oftentimes the very less thinkingness I apply to situations, the very much faster end result occurs that is the correct end result. So my final thought on this, and I'm sorry that I get long-winded on some of these discussions, but what came out for me loud and clear is just a sense of faith, understanding that we are source, that we are creating the greater good for the greater people, including ourselves at every level, and that our lives and our manifestations are the perfect reflection of our perfect role in the perfect progression of the entirety of creation. And when we relax and when we have faith that all is as it should be, we are approaching that state of pure forgiveness where we understand that there is no action or event that requires forgiveness because it is all in and of itself the perfect piece in the mosaic that does define the existence of all. Thank you. We're not hearing you, Monica or Arnie, if you're speaking. You have no volume.
Maybe in the meantime, I can make some comments. I really love, Fran, how you explained that we actually didn't judge feelings as good or bad, but all of them have different beauties, like even sadness is appropriate when we need to be sad. And we've done exercises like guilt, how does it help us, or how does it not help us? For each feeling, we've done exercise about how does it help and how doesn't it help. So being more conscious about beauty of feelings. Actually, it's not bad that we feel guilty, for example. It's not something to fight or defeat. It's just to appreciate and experience more consciously and see how it serves us. And if it doesn't serve us, just to know that in which ways it's making us less functional in our beautiful living. Thanks a lot for explaining.
Well, yeah, thank you for your comment and feedback. One point I was leading up to, and then got moved off into another thought process. But relative to doing this, the true value of this book is that it taught us an absolutely exquisitely simple doing this to allow ourselves to discharge whatever negative energy or emotion we might be feeling at that instant, and allow us again to move back to the center where our internal energy, our vibration that we're going to learn so much, this concept of vibration from Abraham. When we truly align our vibration with the universal flow of energy, that is the ultimate acceptance of what is. And that then allows us to be in that flow of universal energy, of universal in the sense of that energy that is and comprises the universe, which is the totality of abundance. And it's only until we allow ourselves to align our internal energy with the flow of universal energy that true abundance in all fields flows to us. The only reason that we don't experience true abundance in all things in the universe is because of our internal stops and blocks, where we're creating an impediment to the flow or manifestation of that form of abundance into our lives. So that tool is so powerful, the concept, and it's so simple. You wonder how you didn't think of that before. It always amazes me that as complicated and complex as living this is, it's actually very simple at its core. And it's the very simple things that help us unravel and move through an integration and understanding of the complexities. So that was the true power of this book, in my opinion, for me. And I sense the same in the rest of our panel. You, Arnie and Monica, you still have lost auditory transmission. We can see you speaking, but we can't hear you. Check your microphone. I don't know whether you, for some reason your microphone is not enabled. Yeah, is your headset plugged in all the way? Check your plug.
Tell me if you can hear me now.
Yeah. Yes. Monica, we hear you.
Okay, just 5 minutes. Thank you so much for what you have shared here. It's like a wonderful, like propelling, to continue. But I want to come back to what I was saying before, and I totally agree with you, Candace. I think we are saying the same thing. Like this book with you, the rest of the chapters that we have, like 4 or 5 more, is very personal. About inquiring relationship with your father, your mother, attachment. I mean, very beautiful. So I will suggest to all of you to finish the book. Personally, take the 5 minutes that takes to fill up, the exercises. And again, remember, to me, it's like something that I like about this book too, is the ability that the book has to touch topics that I know I was grasping without knowing, like to investigate, attachment, rejection, insecurity. So that was very powerful. So continue with it, because we already mastered the technique here, and it's a matter of enjoying it. And then let's open the energy now for the next book before we complete today. And the next
We lost your audio, Monica. Can't hear you. And your screen froze. We've lost Monica's audio again, and the screen froze.
Yeah, they're having challenges with their internet connection. So
She was in the process of introducing the new book. Oh, now your screen's freezing. Doc Fran.
no, I'm here. I'm just sitting still. It's so unlike me. Here, oh, it's a spectacular.
Okay.
There we go, Dr. Monica. Yay, you're back.
Yes, you were telling us about the book. Silent and frozen screen again. And I can't hear you, Doc Fran.
Well, I
there
muted
you go.
my mic. Yeah, I muted my mic. So
Okay.
I was waiting for Monica to come through. Well, we're running out of our time.
So we might as well, maybe they'll come back on 4 more minutes.
Let's see. Yeah, let's see. It would be fun for her to queue up the new book. It's one
Yeah.
that I'm not familiar with. Burl, I am very familiar with the book that you had recommended, the Vortex and Relationships. That's excellent. There's another book that they call Vortex and Money, the relationship with money. So we could spend a lifetime doing Abraham books. Interspersed with.
To make sure that I follow the right book or not. This is the one that we are going to follow is the Power of Deliberate Intent. Is that true? Not the Vortex.
Yeah, not the Vortex. It's a different book that Monica and Arne selected, but I think it's fine. I think it's The Power of Deliberate Intention is the name of it.
Okay.
And it'll be a beautiful follow-up to release technique that we just learned through the Abundance book. So I think that I think is going to be a good master exposure to the Hicks philosophies, and then we can get down into the application of that philosophy through the Vortex books. Which apply their philosophy to various areas of our lives. I think it plays well.
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing for the rest of the weekend?
I'm taking for Spain.
Are you going to Spain for a conference, or are you going for recreation?
It's for my company. I'm looking for angel investors.
You're looking for
angels.
Oh, angels.
Spain has angels. It's got Celio in it.
That's true.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yay, yes. And just as quickly gone. I have to go and get that book. I don't actually have that in my library, so.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I will order the Kindle version because the post will take time.
Yeah, Kindle. I'm reading a book, almost a book a day on Kindle now, just novels.
Wow.
There's something about the backlit screen. It just makes it so much nicer to read than a book itself. I can't believe what a difference it is.
Sure.
And you don't get eye strain. You don't get fatigue. I can read for hours without any trouble at all.
Wow.
Are you sensitive to EMFs at all, Doc Fran?